Coming up on the Week in Review. The growing vigil in Minneapolis. A chilling murder in the suburbs. The fight to bring energy bills down. A suburban spa shut down after allegations of hidden cameras. Selling THC at the United Center. The beauty of Chicago in winter. And a brewery pouring its last drink. This is your Fox 32 Week in Review.
We are here at the memorial. This is the site where Alex Preddy was shot and killed by a federal agent on Saturday. The tone here and the energy here is different, though, from what we experienced and what we saw here on Saturday. Things are very somber. A lot of people have been paying their respects and coming out with fresh flowers and lighting candles with new signs. And some people in this community have, been coming out since as early as 5 o'clock this morning. Now, I have been, of course, trying to connect with these community members for myself, asking them the important questions of why are you here and why is this important. We actually met a gentleman this morning. His name is Zach Hall. He's from Chicago. He flew in this morning and came straight here to this memorial. I want you to listen to what he has to say.
It's very personal. My wife is Korean. I think about the people here. I think about my wife. I think about you. I think about anybody with brown skin being asked for their papers. Where are we?
Right. So that sort of language is very consistent with what we've been hearing from members of this community. One thing about Minneapolis, too, is, this is obviously the start of a brand new work week. It's a Monday. People are going back to school. People are going back to work. That is not going to stop these people from showing up and, of course, paying their respects. So that has been really powerful to see. This memorial, by the way, has pretty much doubled in size from what I saw here on Saturday night. People were out here until midnight that day. And once again, it's proven that, they're not going to stop showing up. Now, you talk about these local businesses. Just for reference, just for some extra context of where we are, this is Eat Street. That's what a lot of locals call it. Many of these businesses and these restaurants are owned by immigrants or people of color. They, by the way, have been opening up their doors at the risk of their own safety sometimes, with federal agents around at times, to let people of our own community inside these buildings for a place to warm up and drink water and food. This is an example of what people here at this memorial are experiencing as well. People are frustrated. They are scared. They're confused. They want answers. We also are expecting to hear, hopefully, a response from the Trump administration and federal officials as two federal hearings play out in court today. Guys, all of that is pending. We know that really all of those federal hearings have to do with the legality of these immigration operations that are happening statewide here in Minnesota right now. So we also know, just for another piece of information here, 60 CEOs from Minnesota-based companies, along with many of Minnesota's professional sports teams, have signed on to an open letter basically urging federal officials to de-escalate this situation and find a real solution. Now, that letter didn't necessarily specify what they wanted that solution to be, but once again, as we've been hearing from members of this community, they have made it very clear at this point they want ICE out. So we will, of course, follow the latest on this. We will be watching for those responses from our federal officials. We are going to be connecting with nearby businesses here today and, of course, connecting with our very own community members, and we'll be sure to let you know what we do.
More disturbing details about the murder of that 30-year-old woman who was 5 months pregnant. It stemmed from a sale on Facebook Marketplace.
And tonight, prosecutors are seeking life in prison for the 19-year-old suspect. Leslie Moreno has more.
At a news conference this morning, the DuPage County State's attorney called it a horrific act of violence beyond comprehension.
It's unconscionable, an unconscionable level of violence that we have observed in this case.
Prosecutors say 19-year-old Nita Sravuka stabbed 30-year-old Eliza Morales with a screwdriver, then set her on fire. She was 5 months pregnant.
An altercation ensued, and it resulted in the defendant stabbing the victim 70 times.
The attack happened Monday evening at the couple's home in Downers Grove, where Morales and Ravukas agreed to meet to finalize the sale of the couple's truck that was initially posted on Facebook Marketplace. According to police, Ravukas was angry about the condition of the truck and attacked the mother.
As a police chief, this is the worst call that you can get. And, immediately once we started determining the circumstances that were involved here, we knew that our top priority was to solve this case.
Investigators say the fire was intentionally set after the stabbing to hide the evidence. The family dog was also stabbed between the eyes but survived.
Immediately once we started determining the circumstances.
Tonight, officials say a rape kit was taken, and not only did Eliza have vaginal bruising, they say she was burned in that area as well. Revoucas is charged with first-degree murder among other felonies. This morning, a judge ruled that he is to remain in custody.
The public should know that we will use every available resource in this county to bring a full measure of justice to the victim in this case.
The 19-year-old remains locked up at the DuPage County Jail. His next court appearance is scheduled for February 18th at 9:30 in the morning. Eliza was laid to rest earlier this evening. She was surrounded by all her friends and family. The Downers Grove Chief of Police also taking the time to remind people about the dangers of meeting people online. In DuPage County, Leslie Moreno, Fox, Chicago.
You've heard from Lucas Gallup.
Then this just came out of nowhere.
Kevin Mejia.
At least doubled or tripled.
Kelly Hicks.
It has gone up around $150.
And Terry Logan.
About $458 a month.
They told Fox Chicago their NIPSCO bills are putting their families in vulnerable situations.
I don't know if I can afford groceries for the next 2 weeks.
The cost of living is already too high, and utility bills are a big part of that.
Charles Hua is the founder of Power Lines, a nonpartisan consumer education group.
What's remarkable is that in this moment, electricity and gas are the two fastest drivers of inflation.
Is it simple corporate greed? What is it?
Well, it's important to note that utility companies like NIPSCO, they're for-profit private companies with shareholders on Wall Street.
Powerline's new report found last year alone, utility companies requested nearly $31 billion in rate increases.
We've spent a lot of money already building, and we're not using efficiently. The reason why we're not using it efficiently is because we don't have the right incentive structure in place where utility companies, they don't make a profit when they make the grid more efficient. It needs to get approval from their regulator, which is called a Public Service Commission or Public Utilities Commission.
In Illinois and Indiana, the governor picks who makes up those commissions.
Do you find that these regulatory bodies rubber stamp these rate approvals?
The majority of the requested amount typically gets approved. It's so difficult to navigate. Then that creates a situation where consumers aren't actually part of the decision-making process in a meaningful way.
Which has led to frustration in Northwest Indiana as some plan a protest outside of NIPSCO offices next week.
Contact their state legislators, contact their regulators, contact their governors. The alternative is, frankly, a route that we don't want, which is that utility rates continue to skyrocket and there's grid power outages and your bills are so high, so you're paying more for, a less reliable product.
Brett Bagansky, Fox News.
The police chief here in Hinsdale tells us detectives have been working this case for more than a year, identifying at least 60 victims who were unknowingly and illegally recorded. Reflection Spa is owned by 51-year-old Jason Spencer, who's been charged with 5 felony counts of unauthorized videotaping. Located near First and Washington on the second floor of a commercial space, police say they were tipped off to a possible hidden camera in December of 2024. Officers then found hidden cameras in treatment rooms, along with a recording device and a hard drive. Police Chief Brian King says detectives spent months combing through video and interviewing hundreds of customers. He shares that the victims had no idea they were being filmed. The spa offers massages, waxing services, and other body treatments. Police say no other crimes were committed at the business. Hinsdale Village President Greg Hart says when this all came to light, they did not renew the spa's license, which expired last month. Cybercrime expert Detective Rich Wistocki weighed in with tips on how to identify cameras when you are in a private setting.
If you see a flashing light, a lot of times they'll put black tape on it. A lot of times they'll cover it with black paint right before you get changed. Just say, I need a little bit of time to get changed. And so you look in the vents, you look in the sprinkler system, you look at the smoke detectors, you look at the outlets.
Wistocki also says there are devices you can buy online that can detect hidden cameras. As for Spencer, he is not being held in jail but is due back in court next month. We are waiting on a statement from either him or his attorney in response to the criminal allegations.
I want you to look at something right here behind me, because this is where the confusion really lies and the mystery as well. It's the 9 that's in this license plate. Susan's 9 is straight, so it's the older plate here. The violator's 9 curves a bit more. That's a more modern Illinois license plate.
Look at it. This is not my car. This is a black Chevy. And then I look further and I realize it's the same license plate number as mine, which that's really weird because I don't drive a black Chevy. I drive a green Subaru. And there's the problem.
Okay, so this all started when Susan Bonini opened a red light ticket in her mailbox. This was days ago. The red light violator had the same license plate number, but a much different car. You see it going through that light right there. That's a small black Chevy SUV. The violation happened on the 5600 block of West Irving Park Road. At that moment, Susan was more than 30 miles away in Lisle and hasn't been to Chicago in several years. She says she's had the same license plates for over a decade, used across multiple vehicles. They were never lost, never stolen, never reported missing. She contacted the DMV. She also contacted police. Both confirmed the plates are registered to her car. Still, that $100 ticket remains. Susan made a move out of safety, paying for new license plates and a new sticker costing more than $200.
I kept my old plates because if for some reason I have to go to court or something happens, like maybe these people commit a crime with that license plate, I can prove that I have my original license plates. What happens if they did something more than just running a red light and I'd be blamed for that?
Yeah.
That'd be scary.
Yeah. Well, I hope that does not happen. Yeah, we can only hope here, right? Well, Bonini provided the city with documentation showing the vehicle in the red light photo was not hers. Fox 32, of course, reached out to Chicago's Department of Finance to ask whether that ticket will actually be rescinded. We are still waiting to hear more on that. Now, after learning of this report, the Illinois Secretary of State's office says they are now investigating. And of course, we will continue to follow this story and bring you updates as we get them. But as of right now, Terrence and Sylvia, this is still a big old...
Yeah, this is Antonio Porter's first real chance at freedom in years. He is set to walk out of the Cook County Jail here behind me at some point today. He has been locked up for 23 years now, serving a 71-year sentence. 50-year-old Antonio Porter there on your screen was convicted in 2003 for a 2002 murder in which Lamont Harrison was shot during a dice game. Police and prosecutors initially argued Porter was the gunman, and a jury found him guilty at trial. Recently, a Cook County judge vacated Porter's conviction and ordered a new trial over concerns about the credibility of key police testimony in his original case. At a bond hearing on Monday afternoon, the judge ruled Porter to be released on electronic monitoring while he awaits a new trial. Advocates who have been working with Porter and his family this whole time say he is excited to be walking out today.
Static, and he's just waiting. Right now, we waiting for some paperwork to be corrected. He was supposed to be released last night, but he's still in good spirit because the judge made a ruling already. He's coming home on pre-trial conditions, so that's for sure. We know that for sure. We just got to wait for the process with the county doing the necessary paperwork, with the judge signing off on the correct paperwork, and we hoping that today, you know, he'll be walking out of here. We just don't have a approximate time yet. He's going to be staying with a family member, not with his mom, with his close cousin. Everything is already ready. She has a big house. He has a job lined up.
The Cook County State's Attorney is still reviewing all the evidence on this case. Again, Porter is still locked up here at the Cook County Jail, awaiting everything to be finalized. We're also told his family is standing nearby as well, waiting for him to walk out.
Coming up, selling THC at the United Center. ICE freezes the South. And is our own Terrence Lee really just AI?
The United Center is going to be the first big arena in the country to sell THC drinks. They're starting at concerts and other shows, not sporting events, not kid stuff. Two brands are coming in, Señorita and Rhythm, which is local. It's based in Rolling Meadows. Both use THC from hemp. Each can has 5 milligrams. That's But like having a glass of wine, you have to be 21 to buy one. Now, mind you, a federal ban is coming. Trump signed a law in November banning intoxicating hemp products starting this November. Chicago's doing its own thing. City Council voted to ban most intoxicating hemp products, but drinks got a pass. The United Center can still sell them when that ban kicks in April 1st. We talked to someone from Rhythm on Chicago Live.
We've had the business here in Chicago for 10 years. The United Center is the premier venue, and being able to expose consumers to our brands, to our lifestyle brands that are safe, highly functional, great products is super exciting. And what we're seeing is consumers are leaning away from alcohol, choosing less alcohol, and looking for alternatives. And so being able to offer this at concerts and at different kinds of live events and sports, it's a great thing for consumers, and it's an alternative.
Mayor Brandon Johnson says he has concerns about that ban. He has until February 13th to decide if he'll veto it. Drinks are exempt either way, though, and they start selling February 4th at the United Center when Boyz II Men New Edition and Tony Braxton perform. They're doing a show together.
We have been telling you and showing you about the horrible conditions weather-wise all over the country, and some of the hardest hit areas are in places where they just can't handle it. They don't have the snow removal equipment, but nothing is worse than ice. And I want to show you where the ice storm has been at some of its worst and feature a couple of folks who have relocated from the Chicago area to get away from weather like this. Mandy Zahn Bintliff and her hubby Graham, thank you guys for joining us. You guys are about 20 minutes north of Nashville. And we can see you've got sunshine there and an absolutely ice-coated tree in the background. When you moved to Nashville, I realize a lot of this was to propel your music career, but did you think you were going to be dealing with wintry weather like this?
You know, they get the seasons down here, and we didn't think it would be like this, but, more so the storms and tornadoes and that type of thing. But, the ice is definitely a different beast.
Yeah, this is new for us.
Yeah, and yesterday when we were chatting and you would walk outside and trees were snapping in the background. Is that still happening now? Do you still have stuff like falling?
So there's been small limbs here this morning. All night last night, you could hear different crashes and cracks, and we'd stop and say, oh my goodness, what was that? Did another tree come down? Our backyard this morning is a war zone, so we're not going to walk back there.
Yeah, don't. We're showing some pictures that you sent in, too, of some of the stuff that has fallen in your yard. Graham, you guys still have power, though, right?
Yes, we still do. There's parts of the neighborhood, I believe they're still out of power.
Okay.
And that happened yesterday morning, I think, when the ice got really bad. I mean, I was up about 4 a.m. and
heard the big tree come down.
Yeah, heard the big tree come down. That shook the ground.
I'm sure.
But it's we're grateful we have the power.
Yeah,
So,
right here. Block over, our neighbors do not have power. A tree came down on the power lines.
Yeah.
There's a power line down right over here
Okay.
on the road going across the road.
And of course, that's very dangerous if that's, live line crossing a road. You got to be really careful there because, that's an electrocution hazard. What are you expecting in terms of recovery here from this? You're going to be below freezing for a couple of days, aren't you?
We are.
Yeah, all week.
Till Sunday.
Yeah, I don't think we break freeze until Monday.
Wow. Wow.
Next Monday, yeah.
All right. So what are you doing in terms of, trying to protect things that haven't broken yet? Is there anything you can do there to kind of deal with this situation right now?
Not really.
Yeah.
Just pray that it doesn't hit the house and pray it doesn't do any more damage to power lines. I mean, we just have to, pray that doesn't happen.
Yeah. And as far as our water lines go, we've got every faucet dripping. We've got things insulated. I used press and seal on the windows, keep the cold out. So other than that, there's not really much you could do. Yesterday, when the trees were coming down and back, we watched it, high-fived each other when it did not hit the house. It came right down in front of the back bay window. So
I guess one of the worst things that could happen now is if the winds really picked up. So hopefully that's not going to be the case. What are the local weather people telling you there?
to stay off the roads.
Okay.
65 and 31, you know, it's the terrain down here it's all hills and mountains and curves. We are at the top of a ridge off 65 just north of Nashville. Stay in, stay warm, keep your pipes dripping.
Yep.
Do not call 911 if you have a power outage.
Okay.
You know, and just remain safe and take care of your neighbors.
Well, yeah, and it sounds like if you've got neighbors that don't have power, they may be wanting to, you know, come over by you and warm up a little bit there. Mandy and Graham, we appreciate you joining us here this morning and giving us, you know, kind of a look behind you there at what's going on. Hopefully this will all thaw and you don't have any more damage. Oh, I see somebody slipping by. Yeah.
Yeah, it was our neighbor down the road, just made it up the hill.
Yeah, they're going out checking out folks. So.
All right, guys, stay safe, try and stay warm, and keep singing, Mandy.
Well, AI videos are everywhere nowadays, and they're getting harder to spot, apparently.
Apparently so.
Yeah, the station posted this TikTok of me talking about this brutal cold snap we've been dealing with. As always, you can depend on the comment section for a good laugh or get easily offended. Like some of y'all saying I look like AI. Pause. It's called a skincare routine, friends. But we thought this would be a good opportunity to walk you through 4 things to look for when you're trying to figure out if something is real or not. First, watch the hands. AI messes up fingers. There's extra digits, weird bends, fingers that disappear. Second, check the eyes and the mouth. Do the lips sync up? Does the blink look natural? I'm getting more offended. Third, look at the background. AI backgrounds can look warped or blurry in strange spots. Fourth, trust your gut. If it looks too perfect or feels robotic, it probably is, which I am not. A robot can't work like that, okay?
That is so funny. People actually thought you were AI.
Yes, I'm like, you thought a robot's been sitting next to Sylvia Perez for the past 6 years here at Fox 32 Chicago?
Oh my gosh.
Parents are too perfect.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Like I said,
no, what were some of the comments?
Moisturize, cleanse your skin, get some serums.
It said something
and
like,
maybe you too could be like this. I'm kidding.
It said something like, look at them using AI.
Yeah, like we would know. And oh, this dude's fake. This is not real. This is AI. Like, I appreciate the detectors being out because there are a lot of videos out there that do get people and catch them off guard. But come on.
This vending machine at Chicago and State Stop on the CTA has been making the rounds on social media. But we're not talking about just your everyday vending machine where you get like all your snacks. Good Things Vending has been installing some very unique vending machines all across Chicago. This morning, we're visiting them at one of Chicago's most popular spots, the Garfield Park Conservatory. Steph Krimp, the founder of Good Things Vending, thanks so much for being here with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
I want to start with, where did you first get the idea of Good Things Vending?
You know, I think that it was inspired by the creative community in Chicago. I had been here for a few years and seen the amazing output from that community here and was just trying to find ways to participate, and just the right Google led me to a picture of a full-size snack vending machine, and it hit me that automation is here and that maybe I could get a little playful with it.
So obviously we're not talking about your Reese's, your Snickers, and your pretzels here. What kind of items are you actually stacking in this vending machine, and what makes it so unique?
So there's a combination of items. Really the beating heart of the project is the local artist goods. They could be things like stickers, patches, locally made greeting cards. So those are our main bread and butter. And then we also have location-specific items. So you mentioned the Chicago Red Line project. We're doing some collabs with the CTA, which is exciting and new. And then we also do some practical items and some vintage and nostalgia stuff. Kind of anything that fits, we'll vend.
And you mentioned collaborating with some artists. How is this in terms of exposure for them, getting more people, especially in these like highly populated areas like Riding the L? How does this kind of give some more exposure so that their art can find the right person?
I think that there's a lot of ways that art is already imbued into the city. I think the Garfield Park Conservatory is a great example. They have a long history of working with artists, and this was a chance to create a really accessible way for the audience that's moving through the space to maybe take some of that home with them. It's everything in the machine is $25 and under, and it's really meant to have something for everybody in there. So I think the goal was to emphasize accessibility, that we can collect art, we can buy art from our neighbors, and that it really is hidden around every corner.
And you said that these vending machines are kind of based on where they're located. So what kind of research are you doing to figure out what would work in each location?
Most of the research is happening on the person-to-person level. We're talking to the team who works at the place, like here at the Garfield Park Conservatory. We're talking to the folks who are here all day long, watching people move throughout the space and know best like what the people who hang out here would be into. And then we learn a lot from doing. So we tend to launch machines in collaboration with the location. And then over the next few months, we really work to cull them to be the right products for the audience based off of what folks are excited about.
So about how many vending machines currently exist and what does the future look like?
There's currently 10 machines. And right now we're focused on this CTA collab. We have a few more machines in the works for this year, but the CTA collab and some of these local artist collaborative products that are gonna both be in the machine and on our website feels like such a cool opportunity to reinterpret the CTA classic branding through the lens of some really capable local talent.
Now, we know we have viewers from all over Chicagoland. If they're wanting to find one of your locations, I know you're at Garfield Park right now, where can our viewers find that information?
Well, you can find all that info at goodthingsvending.com. That has a list of all of our locations, along with tons of info about the artists that we've had in the fleet so far. And then also you can come to any one of the machines and there's like a QR code that will give you info about just the general fleet.
Coming up, Barry Butler's cold Chicago photography. It looks like a deer, but it's not at Brookfield Zoo, Chicago. And how cold is too cold for the zoo animals?
Almost all of us, not fans of this kind of weather, but some people love when this kind of thing happens. I'm thinking of plow drivers on one hand, but also think of the photographers. Yes, this is some of the best times of the year to get out and capture the beauty when storms like this hit. No one does it better than this guy right here, photographer Barry Butler. You will probably be familiar with some of his images. Barry, thank you for joining us. He's going to join us with some of the incredible pictures that you snapped over the weekend. Can you give a comment on just how much you like
it's
this
the best
weather?
Time of the year.
Best time of the year.
Yeah, photography-wise, it's awesome because the landscape is constantly changing. You get the ice, the snow, and steam coming up. This is fun.
Just a lot of like interesting like ice formations and things. Okay, so let's go through the gallery that you have brought
there's
in.
Navy
Okay, take
Pier.
us through.
That was last January. And the steam coming up on both sides of the Chicago harbor there. Just absolutely spectacular.
And was that via drone? It looks
that was
like
via drone,
Okay.
yeah.
That is spectacular. I love the colors there, the composition. Let's see another one here. What are we looking at here?
Pancakes.
Ice pancakes.
Yeah, so that's, with the water swirling and all of a sudden the snow on top of the water gets all frozen. So it looks like a bunch of white hockey pucks.
It does. Yeah. Like they look like little wafers, and that was taken right off of where the
Ohio
water.
Street Beach.
Yeah, Ohio Street Beach. Okay, let's check out another one of these.
Oh, Chicago Harbor Lighthouse. I love that. So the steam coming up right behind it. That's at sunrise. Shot that actually from Navy Pier.
And how did you get this? It just like emerged when the clouds parted, huh?
Yes, yeah. Well,
where were you situated for that?
Right on the edge of Navy Pier there. So yeah, that's just patience, right? And ultimately just waiting for the right moment and then click away.
You captured it right there, perfect timing. All right, let's check this one out.
So what this is very cold temperatures, the steam coming off the buildings, and the sunrise just barely coming off the horizon, shooting up and catching it. It looks like it's on fire. Actually, I think it looks like Game of Thrones.
It really does. It really does. The way that the sunlight is just illuminating that. It's steam, right?
Yeah, steam. And it looks like fire.
Off the buildings. So cool. All right, what do we have here?
Well, this is a spot that most people don't realize is there. This is at Montrose Harbor.
Let me see this.
And it looks like a big question mark, right? So some of us would question why we live here, but this is a good reason why you want to live here, because it's beautiful in winter. So, and then you see the skyline in the far distance there, but that's up by Montrose there.
I did not know this. Okay. this is jutting out into the lake.
Right.
And the beach itself would be just to the north of this, right?
Just to the south of it.
Oh, just to the south of it,
okay. And to the west. And as a matter of fact, you might recall we had those snow owls. They were actually sitting out there.
Yeah. So what is this structure right here? That it almost looks like a little.
It's a little lighthouse.
A little lighthouse, kind of a reservoir there.
Yeah.
So cool. And that was another drone one.
That was a drone one. Yeah.
All right. Do we have another one?
Oh yeah. So this I took over the weekend, and this is an example of just finding something interesting. So. I will get on my belly or on my knees and I will look for spots. And this was out by North Avenue Beach. There was like this little opening and just sat there and just took my time trying to get that into the right spot. The Hancock sitting there between what I call curtains of ice.
Curtains of, this is so cool. It looks like you're in an ice cave.
Yeah.
Was it a cave or was it just like a?
No, it was probably that big.
Because I mean the lake does do weird things, right?
This is only probably about 4 feet
that's so cool.
Wide. So I just happened to find that little opening, and that bar on the right-hand side, that's a post that's been covered with ice.
My wife's a photographer, and her when she does family shoots in colder weather, her fingers nearly freeze off.
Yes.
How do you dress when you go out to get this?
Yeah, so I mean, well, it's funny you say that. So one of the problems with doing photography in winter is your hands, if you don't use a tripod, your hands are above your heart.
Yeah.
So as a result, no blood. So that's why your hands get real cold. So it's important for me to have 2 sets of gloves, and then my boots are rated for -70. So
my gosh.
Yeah, so if my hands and my feet are in good shape, I can be out there for hours. Yeah.
Those are, you are a brave man. Okay,
and that's also over the weekend. That's over by Adler Planetarium. We had wonderful ice formations, big planks of ice in the water, and that was at sunrise Saturday morning.
It's so interesting, the variation in color, because the shot you just showed off of Oak Street, it was like really white. They look like those like ice wafers or hockey pucks,
Right.
and this has got more of that translucent appearance and bigger chunks there. I remember one time a coyote got out on one of those icebergs, had to be rescued. Remember that, Barry?
Yes. If we can keep people off of it, it'd be great.
Okay, we have one
And
more
that was Sunday morning. The ice was there, and then we had a little steam going across the lake there. So, and then our beautiful skyline in reflection.
I feel like an imposter right now. Mike Kaplan should be doing this interview because he has a lot of expertise to share about composition, but I'm guessing with this particular one, he would have no notes for you. Just the bisected, horizontal, perfect reflection. Barry, where can folks find your work if they want to follow along?
Well, I'm on a variety of social media. You won't see me on TikTok doing anything.
No TikTok, no dancing.
No.
Barry Butler. It's an easy name to remember. Check out his work. Such talent and, wow, hard work and bravery leading us to these images, but we loved it.
She looks like a little Bambi, but she is not a deer. Here at Brookfield Zoo, Chicago, we are introducing you to the duiker, and she actually shares a habitat with an animal that we recently profiled, the African red-billed hornbill.
Yeah.
So tell us about this animal, Dr. Mike.
So this is a red-flanked duiker. This is Beatrice, one of our animals here at the zoo, and duikers are some of the smaller antelope species that you find around the globe, and you can see from her size, pretty tiny. But very closely related to all of the other antelope species around the planet.
And other interesting characteristics about them, share those with us.
Yeah, so they live in a dense forest area. So we're here in Habitat Africa, the forest, here at the zoo, and this is the forest type of habitat that they live in, and they like that dense canopy, that dense understory, and we'll actually use that to sort of provide them protection.
Interesting.
Great camouflage. It gives them the ability to dive back into thick vegetation to get away from a potential predator.
I understand that they follow primates as well in the forest.
Yeah, so they're strict herbivores, so they're just eating plant material, but they figured out that the primates up in the tree canopy often are messy eaters and drop fruit and leaves and flowers down to the forest floor. So as a species, they're known to kind of follow those primate groups around and sort of clean up the leftovers in terms of the goodies that drop from above.
Are they endangered at all?
They are, yeah. So we're seeing population declines in many different duiker species around the globe, and it's that loss of habitat. So it's again the clearing of these dense forest areas for livestock or for food production that is really the biggest threat facing them in the wild, as well as hunting. So they're a popular bushmeat species in their native ranges, and so Really, it's all about elevating indigenous communities, providing alternative livelihoods that take away that pressure to hunt and to clear landscape.
And tell us again where we can find Beatrice here at Brookfield Zoo Chicago.
So we're here in Habitat Africa, the forest. A little bit of a hidden gem. We were talking about that earlier. It's a great building. It's not one that a lot of people necessarily find on their journey through the zoo, but this is where we've got our duiker, our hornbill okapi. This is where we find our pangolin. So some really neat animals in this area.
And a dwarf crocodile,
and a dwarf crocodile,
will greet you as you walk through the door. You can see them all here at Brookfield Zoo Chicago.
How cold is too cold, even for polar bears and penguins? Joining us is Cassie Cute-elect, the curator of large mammals and carnivores at Lincoln Park Zoo. She is outside braving the temperatures for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so, I mean, we expect penguins and polar bears to like this kind of weather, but is there a point where it's even too much for them?
Oh, no. I mean, polar bears, they live in the Arctic region where it can hit -30, -40 degrees Fahrenheit. And they've got so many acclimations. They've got extra fur. They've got a thick layer of blubber. So they are set up very well for this kind of temperature. The female polar bear Tellini, who lives here at Lincoln Park Zoo, she's been out enjoying this weather and has just been loving it.
Okay, so we go to the zoo, we'll see her, but what are some of the other zoo animals that enjoy the outdoors as well that maybe we don't expect? So if we come visit you, which one of them will we actually see? Are there any that we might think, wow, I didn't know they like this cold?
So we actually had our African lions out today, and the benefit of having this amazing Pepper Family Wildlife building is that we were able to install heated rocks. And so while you typically wouldn't see African lions out in these kinds of temperatures, the ability that these rocks give them is to be outside in all sorts of temperatures. Obviously, we have temperature guidelines that we have, so if it's under, a certain point, we won't have them out. But these heated rocks, the ability to go inside whenever they want to, really affords us a lot of opportunities that maybe would be missed otherwise. Our seals are outside. Heated rocks up to about 90 degrees, and they adore them.
Oh, wow. Okay,
but
get a little nosy now, because, us humans, when it's cold outside, we like to be inside and cuddle and, bound chicken wow wow. What about the animals? Do they like a little indoor cozy activity, mating seasons, maybe?
What's going on in there, huh?
I mean, we typically don't see any bow chickawawa around this time of year. But definitely some of our other species, our giraffe are inside, our Red River hogs are hanging out inside. But you can see a lot of our giraffe inside if you go to Regenstein African Journey. And so just for the human aspect, you're welcome to come to the zoo and hang out in any of our buildings that are heated to a lot warmer temperatures.
Oh, thank you for playing with us. We appreciate you. Okay, so you
Absolutely.
obviously take the warm weather animals inside, but what exactly does that involve? So how do you prepare for winter? This must be a big to-do, but something you guys are used to by now.
I mean, we live in Chicago, right? So you have to take the good with the bad, the heat with the cold. And so one day it's going to be 60 degrees. The next day it feels like it's -60 sometimes. And so we're prepared for all sorts of weather events. For some of our warmer weather guys, we just make sure that our areas are buttoned up as much as they can be. We like to make sure that we've got a bunch of extra enrichment to keep them mentally stimulated. And then obviously, when the weather does break, give them as much outside time as we can. Just going back to the giraffes as a good example, when we hit about 50 degrees, we like to get them outside to get their zoomies out. Our plain zebra, they're kind of the same way. They've got a much lower threshold, so once it hits 18 for them, they can go outside and get the jitters out, if you will.
Coming up, a brewery tapping out in Chicago. Jake shows us snow sculpting in Lake Geneva and take a tour of secret Chicago.
The beer is flowing and the crowd is growing at Alarmist Brewing in Chicago's Sauganash neighborhood. But it's as much a wake as a party, because in just a few days, Alarmist will be no more.
I put my heart and soul into this place, so it's not just a business. I mean,
I put everything I know into this place. And
It's gotta hurt.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts bad.
Gary Gully is a Chicago craft beer pioneer. We first met Gully in 2013 when he began to make a name for himself homebrewing in his basement.
Do a little check on the aroma. Very hoppy.
In 2015, Gully opened Alarmist on Peterson Avenue, and then things really took off when the brewery won a national gold medal for its signature hazy brew, Le Jus.
That changed everything for us. And when we, 2018, 2019, we couldn't make it fast enough. I brought in more fermenters just for that.
But then COVID hit. Taste began to change, and things were never the same.
We were down anywhere from 10 to 20% at any given moment. And for a small business like us, that's the difference between breaking even or profit or not.
It had to have been a tough decision to make.
It was very, very tough. I've probably cried more in the last month than I have in a very long time.
He's not alone. Customers say this brewery has become community.
I've been coming here since it opened. I have changed diapers here. This is the place where I have written my Christmas cards every year. I feel like I'm losing my third space, and this came up in therapy this week. I don't think I fully emotionally grappled with the loss of this place.
These are some of my favorite beers in general, so we love to come down here, and we're sad that they're not going to be around.
It's death by 1,000 cuts.
Carl Clockers is one of the creators of Guys Drinking Beer, a blog that keeps tabs on the Chicago area beer biz. They also maintain a map and list of Chicago breweries, and the numbers are shrinking.
2 years ago, we were in the mid 230s in terms of those overall numbers, and now we're down to just over 200-ish places making beer in Chicagoland, and that's something like a 15% drop.
In the past 18 months, the victims include Bulldog Brewing, District Brew Yards, Diversity House, Miskatonic, On Tour, 1090, and Temperance, among others. Why the industry-wide hangover? People are becoming more health conscious and drinking less. More of us are working from home and not going out. Legalized marijuana has become an option. And GLP-1 medications are reducing appetites, including beer consumption.
Breweries don't really get to be breweries anymore. Breweries kind of have to be beverage companies now. And if you want to open a new brewery, you kind of have to be prepared to offer more than just beer.
The bar will sit across this whole back wall.
Offering more is the reason Mike Palin is expanding his popular microphone brewing in Elk Grove Village to a second location here in Park Ridge, inside an old Boston Market store in a strip mall.
What we're trying to do here is not just be a brewery, our tap room. We want to be an all-encompassing neighborhood spot.
Palin says the new location will offer coffee in the morning, a place for remote workers, smash burgers and cheese curds for the lunch and dinner crowd, cocktails and seltzers, and yes, beer. Is it a little scary, though, expanding when other places are contracting or closing?
It's the entire landscape of any business is always scary, right? We're banking on this being what I called in the meeting, the Applebee's of the breweries. Come in, hang out after baseball. Come in after your stroll around the neighborhood. Come hang out here, be part of the community.
So this is the final batch of juice.
Back at Alarmist, Gully is hoping he can find a buyer for the business that will keep the brewery and brand intact. Otherwise, he'll be forced to sell these huge steel tanks for as little as 10 cents on the dollar.
You think there's a viable business here?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It just needs someone who can invest a little bit more money on a few things, marketing especially.
I'll be talking to you. I'll see you.
For now, it's time to say goodbye to his customers as they scoop up the last cases of the beers they've come to love.
Based on what everyone's telling me, we left a mark, which feels good, but I just wish we could keep going. It kills me.
I've done a lot of live shots lately where I've talked about forgetting winter and doing things that make you ignore the cold temperatures and dream of summer. But let's not forget that winter can be particularly beautiful. Take a look behind me. We're going to give you a preview of the Lake Geneva Winterfest and America's Snow Sculpting Invitational. And the person who's going to tell us all about it, this is Stephanie Klett, who's the organizer of this amazing event. Stephanie, it's cold out here, obviously, there's a lot of snow. We've had a heck of a winter, but it's actually going to be sort of yielding a pretty amazing event.
Oh my gosh, we're going to have about 65,000 people here over the next few days. This is one of the largest winter events in the United States.
Tell people what they can expect when they come out here. I mean, we're looking at what started yesterday, correct me if I'm wrong, as a 10-foot block of snow.
Yes. weighing
but
thousands
of pounds. But pretty soon, we're going to see pieces of art out here.
Oh my gosh, these are some of the best snow sculptors in the world. 15 teams of 3 people each. And I mean, we have teams here from Alaska, Pennsylvania, of course, Illinois and Wisconsin. But for the first time, we have teams from Turkey and Mexico, a former world champion team.
And if people want to kind of figure out where we're at right now, take a look to our, there's the lake. The Lake Geneva's right there. I mean, you could not have a better location for this.
No, and we've got the historic Riviera, which we use as a warming place and live music. What I love is this event is free. So you go from these amazing snow sculptures to 40 different ice sculptures throughout the town. We do s'mores on the beach. We have fire performers. We have rock and music. It is a party vibe. So if you are like, I don't like winter, you come here, you're going to love winter. And of course, there is always a bar or a restaurant or a coffee shop to warm up.
There's a libation that could warm you up. Now, I want to talk about these teams and kind of what they're doing. Correct me if I'm wrong. They kind of kicked off the competition yesterday. So they're still pretty far. I mean, they're still just getting into it. So the snow is kind of sort of taking shape, and then the art will be revealed when?
It's Tools Down, they call it, this Saturday at 11 a.m.
Wow.
But what I love about this is the sculptures stay until they melt.
Wow.
And because of this cold, they may be around for weeks. But I highly recommend coming Sunday.
Yeah.
The sculptures are done. You have just a little bit wider of a place to walk and talk with your family, friends, and see these up close, because these are true artists. I mean, they have engineering backgrounds, artist backgrounds, they're professors of art. So people are floored when they come here for the first time.
I've got to be honest, just off of this alone, it's more than I could even. Wait, is that what it's going to is that what it's going to be?
It is. And this is a team from Wisconsin, Sculptura Borealis, and they're actually the returning champions.
No kidding.
From the last couple years. They're amazing. And again, when you see the finished product, and when you see movement in a sculpture, you're like, how do they do that?
It's unreal. And really quick, where can people find more information? And I also want to give a shout out. Obviously, people know where Lake Geneva is, but we drove in from Chicago. It was a very easy drive.
It's about 80 minutes.
Yeah. It's a beautiful drive.
It's a beautiful drive. We are in southeast Wisconsin. Go to visitlakegeneva.com. See everything that we offer. You're going to learn more about the snow sculptors here and what they're doing and why they're creating the sculpture that they are.
It's unreal. Stephanie, I don't know if anyone's ever told you this. You're very good television.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just going to put it out there. You're very good at what you do. All right, guys, live out here at Lake Geneva. It's beautiful. Listen, I know we're always talking about go to this place to forget the winter, go to that place to forget the cold, but sometimes it's nice to actually appreciate the beauty that comes.
So if you're asking yourself, what should you do this weekend to maybe stay warm, do something indoors? Well, Secret Chicago has the answers for you. From hidden hangouts and screen-free escapes to indoor games, and it is Restaurant Week as well. Joining us this morning is Tori Levy, the staff writer at Secret Chicago, with the top things everyone should know about this weekend. Thanks so much for being here.
So happy to be here. I know with the cold weather, we don't want to leave outside, but we've curated a great list of things to do, explore the city, but also keep warm.
Chicago can also be fun in the wintertime, right? So let's start with Kibitz Nest. No Wi-Fi, no screens.
Yes.
What is this?
So this is one of my favorite places in the city. It's a book bar located in Weekend Park, and the coolest thing is it's completely Wi-Fi free. Yes, so it's a great place to see the dozens of books across the place. You can bring a book that maybe you've been putting off. It's so cozy, warm, and they have a ton of different boards games. So also a great way to grab a group of friends, hang out, catch up, but no distractions of screens. They also have a bar, so if you want to pick me up for coffee or a little boozy, wine and beer, it's really great.
You can actually talk to each other instead of looking into your phone for hours at a time.
Right. So I would definitely recommend this place, especially during the winter.
Also, you've got Ace Bounce, all about competition and fun. What makes this such a different experience?
Yeah, so what makes this a different experience? I know Marty Supreme has probably been the forefront of our mind. Timothy Chalamet hitting a ping pong. This is a ping pong bar located right in downtown Chicago. So, of course, they have ping pong tables. You can play beer pong, shuffleboard. They have TVs spread out across the sports bar, so they're streaming live games. But what makes this extra unique is they have this new virtual game system called Ping Pong X.
Ooh.
So think virtual reality with the help of AI. They project different games onto a ping pong board, and it keeps track of all of your shots and all your score for you.
So no cheating. For sure.
Yeah, exactly, no cheating.
Now, with these temperatures still in the single digits out there, a lot of people are looking for ways to maybe get out the house, but do something indoors. Tell us a little bit about this indoor farmers market at Water Tower Place.
So farmers markets aren't just for the summer anymore. There's ones during the winter. South Loop Farmers Market has teamed up with the Water Tower Place to bring you a farmers market every Sunday until the end of March. And it's really great. There's over 75 local vendors from all over the region. And think, fresh produce. If you've been wanting to stock up on a hearty soup, here the place to get your veggies. But they also have fresh honey, vintage clothing. So a curated thing or a list for everyone. And they also have live entertainment on the weekends.
I've been before. I had a great bagel sandwich.
Oh,
I went
great.
to one last winter.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of food, it is Chicago Restaurant Week. What are some of your favorites that people should be trying to hit up if they can snag one of those reservations?
I know. So there's over 500 restaurants participating, and it's kind of overwhelming to choose from. It's a really great way to get a budget meal for, I think they start at $30 for brunch and $45 for lunch and dinner. But if you're looking for a luxurious steakhouse, we recommend Sophia's Steak in Chicago, located in River North. Their restaurant menu is amazing. You can start with hamachi crudo. They also have a flat iron steak for the entree, but the star of the show is their bread pudding, which just really melts in your mouth. It's so delicious. But I would definitely recommend if you're kind of struggling with where to go.
Now, we've given our viewers lots of options. Do you have a top one that folks should be trying to do this weekend?
I think there's so many different things to do, but I think definitely choosing Restaurant Week.
Sure.
It's one of my favorite winter activities.
This has been your Fox Chicago Week in Review. See you next time.